Okay, this is the full SolidWorks Design tutorial for my Ender 3 S1 Pro drawer organizer. This frankly drives me crazy, so I'm going to design a organizer that fits in here and insert to organize all this stuff. So let's jump in and design it. I've already got a few pictures here. As you can see, this is how I want to lay everything out. This is a few of the parts, and I'm leery to trace the parts that I need to trace on here because there's so much lens distortion that happens. It makes them look weird and I don't think they'd fit right. So I placed them right in the center and took a new picture of each one. So anyway, I'm going to use this as reference and then pull these in when needed and measure everything else. So anyway, let's jump in and get started. I'll put that over to the side here. Top plane, sketch. Okay, now rectangle about the center. Right click and drag upward to get smart dimension, and we're going to make that 183. We're going to make this 150. Okay, so that's our inside of our drawer. Now let's extrude that, and we're going to do that about the mid plane, like I'd like to do everything, and make it 20 millimeters. Alright, that's the base of our insert there. Now there's a couple things that have to happen here. There is a step on one side. Let's see what side I want that on. Okay, so to step that up, I'll step it up on this side. So let's create a sketch there. Going to draw a rectangle, not about the center, but about the corner rectangle. And go from that corner down to this line here, because it's going to go all the way across. And now I want to make it, you'll see me start smart dimension two different ways, but anyway, make that 65. Okay, and there's two different ways. I can click on it up here, but you can also right click and drag, and you have smart dimension, you have line, circle, and rectangle. So you can use those different things to get to those different tools, and escape gets you out of everything. Alright, now we want to, I know how deep the drawer is, so we're going to go that direction. We're going to go features, cut, and if we don't want to do the math here, which it's super simple math, but I'm going to show you how you do this. You know, offset from surface. And we're going to make that 15. There we go. So now we use the depth of the drawer as our reference dimension. Okay, so now we want to chamfer this because that's how the part is. Whoops. I chose fillet, escape, and now we'll chamfer. I'm going to chamfer that corner there. And we know that was 5 there, so I'm going to make that 5. And you can see that fits in there perfect. Alright. Okay, we're going to put another one on this corner. So let's create a chamfer, select that, and we're going to make it 12. There we go. Alright, that's the basic shape of our insert, the internal of the drawer, and now we're going to just break the corners of this so they don't get in our way. So let's go ahead and select one of these. All 4 of these. And we'll make it 5, no, maybe 4, 3. Okay, we want 3. Alright, So that is the basics of the insert. So we Control S to save. Now we're going to start putting our parts in here. So first off, I want to put these pliers in there, which I have a picture for that. And it is right here. So let's start by tracing that. I'm going to start by creating a sketch on the top surface of this, and we will go to Insert, Tools, Sketch Tools, Sketch Picture. Choose that picture, open it. I'm going to try low resolution, just to make it a little easier on my computer. Okay, there it is. I'm going to rotate this right off the bat to 90, and that's upside down, so we're going to make it negative 90. There we go. Now I want to take this. This is our reference line, so we're going to scale the whole thing by using this. So we want to figure out how tall we want this thing. And I'd really like to draw a line across here, but it's not going to let me while I'm in this. I think I can get in there. Yeah, I can do that. So I want to draw a line from here to, let's go right across there, just so we can see the height of this thing. And now I will go back to our sketch, expand that, right click and hit Feature Properties. Now we're back into this. Okay, so now we should be able to set this. There we go. Okay, so that height right there on our actual part is going to be 115. Okay, so there's our actual scale of that. We're going to double and triple check this, so I'm going to make sure we get this right. Now we need to move this thing around, so I guess we need to edit the feature properties again. That way I can drag it up. I guess it doesn't matter, I really just need to trace it at this point. So let's do that. Not going to necessarily trace it as much as we're going to make a pocket for it. So we want to use a spline and just start going around this thing without trying to get into the part at all. Just say a little bit on the outside. You can always zoom in if you need to. Sometimes this looks like this is going to go wonky, but if you keep putting points in, it will correct itself. Alright, we're getting there. If you put enough points and just stay directly on the outside of the object, we should be okay. I'm just going to cut the corner here. Almost there. I'm just using the scroll wheel to zoom out and then zoom back in. That's how I usually get around. Some people do it differently, but it works really well for me. You can just zoom out and zoom in. It zooms into where the cursor is, so it's a pretty good way to move around in your model. And of course you can click and rotate, but we're working in 2D here at this point. Alright, escape that, and now we can start dragging some stuff around. Whoops. Control Z to undo that, but I want to flatten that out a bit. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. That's our trace of our snips. I always want to move it over here into place. So we're going to move entities, select all these, select the start point of about right there, and bring it over and drop it about right there. I think we had it centered. Let's check our reference. Yeah, it's a little bit off to one side, so let's do that. Move it a little bit more. About there. Now I want to also give myself a place to get a hold of this thing. So let's go ahead and chop this whole piece off right here. So we will go ahead and draw a line right across there and do some trimming. There we go. Put a couple radiuses in here. Let's make them more like 5 millimeters. There we go. All right, I think that's pretty good. Features, extrude cut. Here we're going to extrude cut this down blind. And let's see how thick these things are. We can go about 13 millimeters and be good. So let's go 13. All right, there is our cavity for those. Like I said, we'll check these later to make sure I didn't mess up the scale there by using the picture. But let's go ahead and add a few more things in here. So we have 4 Allen wrenches here. I'm going to turn them up and face them downward because they'll actually fit in there. So let's do that. Okay, so let's go ahead and sketch. Create a rectangle. And let's give it some dimensions. So the biggest one is going to need to be the cavity will be, let's go 4 millimeters thick. And we will be 104 millimeters tall. Now let's give this a round top. We'll do that by using a tangent arc. Escape and then delete this. Boom. There we go. There's that one. I don't want to put it too close to the edge because we will end up with a problem with this hitting the chamfer. We can check that though, because this leg of the Allen wrench is actually 20 millimeters. It just fits. So if we hit the chamfer at all, we're going to be in trouble, which means we're going to have to be to the left of that. Okay. It's doable. Right there. Alright. Go a little bit further. Alright, that's our first one. Let's go ahead and put a dimension in to the side. I'll make it 14. And from the bottom, I'll make it 40. I just like to constrain stuff. Alright, there's the first one. Let's go ahead and give that a depth. Features, extrude cut. And we'll make it 4 millimeters also in depth. Okay. Let's go ahead and make it poke through. We'll come back and do that. Let's get all these in there. Put another one. Sketch. Rectangle. Okay. Next size is, we can do 3 millimeters to be fine. Right click, drag upward. And now for a length, we will go 85. There we go. Put the top on it. If you get that happening, you just go back to the point and come out again. So you can make it come out like different ways by depending on how you leave the point. Escape, select that and delete it. Okay, now I want to line this up with that, so let's go ahead and make it horizontal to that. Drag it over here close. Give it a dimension between. 3 millimeters sounds good. Okay, there's the second one. Features, extrude cut. It's 3 millimeters wide, so we'll make it 3 millimeters deep. Okay, add another one. Sketch, rectangle. I think it's the same length as the other one. Yep. So that was 85. I'll make it the thickness. There we go. Say 2.5. There we go. Put the top on it. Line it up with that. Give it a dimension between. There we go. Let's give it a depth. 2.5. Add another sketch in here. We will give it a height of, this one's a little bit shorter. I'll make it 60, let's make it 67. The width, I'll make it 2.2. There we go. Put the top on it. Boom. Escape, select, delete. And now we'll line it up with this one. Give it a spacing, 3 millimeters again. Okay. Now features, extrude cut, 2.2. Now I want to make this hole protrude all the way down through on all these. So select the bottom of this, sketch. We're going to make a circle, and we want to put it at the center of this. So if you hover over the edge, the center pops up and you can click on it. And now you can just click on that. All right. Okay, so now features, extrude cut. We're just going to go through all. Call that good. Do the next one. Sketch. Circle. Extrude cut. Through all. Sketch. Circle. Extrude cut through all. Sketch. Circle. Extrude cut through all. Okay. Now that'll fit down through there, but all these have a radius to them, so we need to take a little bit off of that. So let's see if we can add a fillet in here. Looks like we sure can. So let's make it 2 millimeters maybe. Yeah, I think that looks good. Can we do that on all of them at the same time? There we go. I think that should work. That one there looks a little bit bigger. That's the biggest one. Let's make that just a hair bigger. Let's make it maybe 3 millimeters. And we can see what that looks like from the side if we want by, if you hold down Control and run through 1 through 8, you'll get different views. So I usually use that. And you can see you just run through each one of them and you get different views. I think 1 is the one no. That's the one we probably want. And we're going to go to that's another way to do it there. If you click on this little dude here, you'll be able to click on the view you want. So let's do that again. There we go. And now on this, we can go hidden and see our radius. I think that looks pretty good. Let's go back to solid view. All right. Save that. Okay, now we have this bigger Allen wrench, and we're going to put it right here. So let's go ahead and sketch on that surface. We're going to do this the quick way. We're going to make a rectangle there. Going to make another rectangle here. Now we're going to hit trim. Make sure we're on power trim and just go boom, 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 boom. Okay. So now we have our L-shaped for the Allen wrench. Get out of trim, select that, and hit equal. Now we have this, which is going to always stay equal. Now we just need to give it a thickness and a height and width. So the thickness, 5 millimeters is good. This width here, from there to there, is roughly 25. And then from here to there, we're going to make it 62. Okay, there it is. Now we should be able to drag this around a little bit to get it to where we want it. I would say lined up at the top of those will look nice. So let's start there. Oh, first let's put our radiuses on here. There's that one. And just want to make sure I'm going to do these close to right. Make this about a 3.5 radius inside here. And then this one here, make it look right. Let's try 7. That looks pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now let's line this up. Whoops, escape the fillet. Now line this up with that. Make it coincident. And now we'll say our spacing here is going to be, whoops, spacing here is going to be, let's make it 5. I think that looks pretty good. Let's extrude it and find out. So we did 5 millimeters, extrude cut, just making this, each one of these the same depth as I'd do the width, because that's how Allen wrenches are made. Okay, there we go. That's our last Allen wrench there. Now, I want to put a couple wrenches in here. Actually, before we get to that, let's do another easy one. This little nozzle clean out. Put it right here. Sketch. Rectangle. Gonna be a big long rectangle here. This thing is, we're gonna make this 108. Dimension 108. And then the thickness, I just want it to fit in there nice, so we'll make that 2 millimeter. There we go. I think I can line that up with this, that'll look nice. Yeah. All these lined up along the top here. Now let's give it a dimension. .5 sounds good. Features, extrude cut. And we made this 2. Is that right? Yep, 2. There we go. I'm actually going to take that, make it a little bit closer to this, because we're going to use the same scoop out for all these. What I mean by scoop out is give ourselves a way to get a hold of these by getting up underneath them. Otherwise they'll get stuck in there. So let's move that over just a hair. Oh, there it is. 6.5. I'll make it 8. There we go. That's better. Okay, save that. Now let's get into our wrench. So we want to create a sketch, tools, sketch tools, sketch picture, select our wrench, low resolution, and let that come in. There we go. Okay, let's rotate this thing around. I want to go -90 like I did before. Nope. Got it wrong again. Just 90. There we go. That looks good. And now I want to say that the end of this to the end of that. You can make anything your reference, so it doesn't even really have to be in a straight line. I mean, well, it has to be in a straight line, but it doesn't have to be in a like horizontal or anything. So let's set that right there, and we'll set this right to there. About there. And we're going to call that 101. Okay. That's my part. Hit OK on that, and now I'm going to start tracing. So let's go ahead and put a circle here. And a circle here. Now we'll fit these to get these as close as we can and make them just a hair big. Like so. Pretty good. Yeah. Now I want to draw the cut in. Escape to another line. Well, there we go. One thing to know here is if you are in a line and you click and then click again, you'll continue the line. But if you are in a line, if you click and hold down and drag, it won't continue the line. So this is a good scenario here where we don't want another line there. We want to come back here and start a line there. Alright, so gives you a little bit of control. So here we'll go click and drag, or click and hold I should say, and go to there. Go here, click and hold, to there, click, click, click. There we go. It's pretty good. It's a little tight there. There we go. Okay, let's clean this up. Trim. Trim this. Add some fillets. That's too big. Make it 2. Make it 1.8 maybe. That looks pretty good. Just go ahead and put those in. Now we'll put some new ones in down here. 1.5. Can't do that. 1.7. 1. Guess that's as small as you're going to let me make them. Just go ahead and put those in, and we'll move them around. How's that? Nope. There we go. Okay. Get rid of my extra line there. Let's go ahead and draw a line right down through here. And one right down through here. Extend them out this way. Let's do some trimming. Okay. That should be a good closed object. Now we'll put a fillet in here and make it 5 maybe? Nope. A lot bigger than that. 10, 15. That looks good. Let's try another one over here. 18. That looks pretty good. Another one there. Looks pretty good. I think that's fine. That one doesn't match as good, but more clearance is definitely not going to hurt us. Alright. So there's our sketch. So now we can get rid of our picture because we don't need it anymore. And now we can move this around. Let's see. I think I'm going to have to jam stuff in here a little tighter than this. I think I'm going to have to move all this stuff down so I can get my 2 wrenches in up here. But we'll see. Let me go ahead and try to move these again. And put it about right there. Features, extrude cut. And we will go, I don't know, let's see here. The thickness of this thing is 2, make it 2.5. Alright, there's our wrench hole. Now let's save it, Control S, and we'll try to put the other wrench in up here. So to do so, let's start another sketch, tools, sketch tools, sketch picture, grab this one, low resolution, and wait for it to load. Okay, that loaded. Now we want to make it pointing toward the small end probably. So let's go ahead and rotate it 90. I get it wrong every time, negative 90. That's good. Move our reference line down here. Just drag it to about there. Cancel that because we gotta adjust it. We'll go from there to just go straight up here to this point. Alright. So, and you see what I did there? I just pick something that's easily measurable. And when I go to the open space there, because that's kind of hard to see, here I can just go line it up with both points and say it's 60, let's say 66.5. All right. Let's move it up here closer and say, okay. Let's trace this. This will be a little bit easier. One end, bunch of straight pieces. That's pretty good. Line. There. Start another line. To there. Tangent arc. Pretty good. Let's trim this stuff up. And now draw all lines in here like we did before. So we'll go click and hold. Drop that. Click and hold. Drop that. Click, click, click. I'll go to trim again. Trim all that. Now we can put some radiuses in. Put one there. That's 2. 1.5. I like that one. Put one there and there. That's quite a bit bigger. 3. Maybe 5. That's good. Alright, there's our wrench. So let's go ahead and delete this picture and move all these entities from here up to it's actually barely going to fit, but I don't like that. So let's go ahead and extrude this. Extrude cut. And we'll make it 2.5 also. Okay. Now I have those in there. Let's clean this up a little bit by moving this stuff around. So we'll start by this one. Edit sketch. Whoops, I added a sketch. Discard. Edit sketch. There we go. And we just want to move this straight down. So let's select all these points, move, and we'll just go down there. That's pretty good. Okay. And now on this, I think we have one point here that we can use to move all these. Yeah. That's pretty nice because I tied them all together. There we go. Now we can edit this sketch, move it down. You don't have to click in the part either. You can just go way out here to stay away from things that are going to snap to. Edit this sketch. That's a lot better. Alright. So now we have all those in there. Let's save it. Control S. And now we have this little screwdriver. We're going to just measure that. So it's going to be just a couple rectangles. So let's go sketch. This will be a rectangle like so and a rectangle like so. something like that. So let's go ahead and trim this up. And we'll center this by making this and this the same. There we go. Now, we just want to make that fit. I'll make that 11 and 11.6. The height of it, we will make it 52.5. Whoops. And then the length of this end piece is going to be 42. Okay, that's our, whoa, that doesn't work well. Control Z. I don't have that where that's stuck in the center, so what we want to do is make the midpoint of that and the midpoint of this vertical. Now I think it should, no. I guess I gotta give this, oh, I gotta give this a width. It's called exercising the sketch. You just drag things around until you realize what needs to be constrained. Or you can even move it to a closer position to where you want to put a dimension on it. We're going to make that 3. Now I think that should, yep. Now it's pretty much constrained to shape. Now I can put it where I want it, which is going to be about there. I'm going to lock it down with a couple dimensions. We'll make it 32. And make this 12. Alright. So this was 11.5. We'll make it 11.5 deep too. Alright. There's our screwdriver. I'd like to give this some shape too though. So let's go ahead and we can do that here now and give it some fillets in that corner. And we'll make it on all those corners. I like that. You know what? I don't like that. I'm going to take these two out up here. There we go. Alright, one more part. Control S to save. Start a sketch. And this last part is this little putty knife, scraper knife thing. So we're just going to measure it up. So the main shape is going to be, or the handle I should say, we'll make it 108. Wait. And the thickness of it, we're going to make it the thickest part of this 10. That's pretty good. Now the top of this will be something like so. Make those equal. Get rid of this. Make the midpoint of that the midpoint of that. Okay, now we give this a height of say 20. A width of, I'm doing everything just a little bit bigger than what it actually is, so we have some clearance. 16. And make these 45. Kind of like that. It's not bad. Let's put it about where we want it. Ooh, we got some freedom that it shouldn't have. It just means we have to take that and make it horizontal. There we go. That's pretty good. Features, extrude cut. And we'll go 10. That's pretty good. Let's put some billets in there. Let's just get this one and this one. And we'll make it 5. That's good. I would say that's good enough. Control S to save. Alright. One more place just for spare parts. I'm going to make a big cavity down here. And that cavity is going to be just a, we're going to make it just fit in there. Like so. Like so. And make that vertical to that. Make that and that equal. Now it should be constrained pretty well. Give it a couple of dimensions, the height. 46. The width down here. 66. The distance off the edge. 6.5. And let's drag it until we have it in the center like we want it. Like so. And now we will give it a dimension off the edge. 40. And we'll make that 67. Okay, fully defined. Features. Extrude. No. That was extruded boss. I don't want that. I want extruded cut. And now we want to just make it where it doesn't break through. Make sure we don't. That's 15, so let's make it 13. Like that. And give it some fillets. Like that. And one of the last things that we need to do here is we need to give some finger holes here so we can pop these things out. So for these wrenches, I just want to put something here in the middle so I can get to each one of them, and we'll go just a hair deeper than the wrench itself. So I want to create a new sketch here. We're going to borrow that line and hit convert. Draw a line vertical from here down to there, and from here down to there. Trim this up. Alright, give it a width. Let's say 16. What does 16 look like? Can I get my finger in 16? Yep. Okay. So we'll go there, and now we'll just extrude that down. Features, extruded cut, and make it go down maybe 8 on this one. No. Maybe 6. There we go. That gives us a little way to scoop in there and grab that. I think that'll look nice and work nice. Same thing here. We're going to just give it a way to get a hold of each one of these. Yep. Sketch. We're going to borrow that line. We're going to draw a line, click and hold and pull out. Click and hold and pull out. Didn't have to hold on that second one. Okay, we want to do 16 again. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a radius on this end. And you might ask why sometimes I do the radius in the sketch and sometimes I do it in the model as a solid feature. Just depends on how I'm feeling at the moment, I guess. Don't really have any super rhyme or reason to it. Just what feels right. Looks good. Make that 10. And now let's give that a extrude cut. We'll try 6 again. That looks pretty good. Control S for save. Now I need to be able to grab a hold of these over here. And this one already has one built in because you can get your finger in right there. So this one here, let's see how deep these are. 11, 5, and 10. So let's go 11, 5 here. Sketch. I'll snag that line. And we will draw from here over to there, down, back over, trim. Oops, fillets. Dimension. 16 again. And we will put it about right there. So let's dimension that off the end of the screwdriver. Sounds good. Make that 10. Extrude cut. Now cut extrude. Let's make it 11.5 to match that. Let's see how that looks. Okay. I think that's looking pretty good. Now we just want to save this off so we can 3D print it. So File, Export As, go to the same place, which is this organizer thing here, and we're going to make it an STL file for Cura. Alright. Okay, we're going to use Cura to slice this. So let's open the file. And that should be it in my recent files there. It's going to come in here as standing up vertical. I already have TPU selected, that's why this is red. So we will now select that, say rotate, select a face to align, and click there. And now you can just right click and arrange all models, and it'll center it up nice for you. So that fits on the plate nice. Now I'm going to set up some specific settings here. So I have the infill density. I have it set to 15 there. I'm going to make it 10. I want this to be kind of squishy. We are using TPU here, so it's going to be a little bit squishy anyway, but the less infill we use, the more it'll be squishy, kind of like, I'm thinking if it'll feel like a foam kind of insert, but I mean, it won't be foam, it'll be TPU, so it's always going to have a outer skin to it that feels like plastic, but it'll be squishy. So anyway, enough about that. So there's the infill density. We'll look at that a little bit more once we slice it. Let's say normal. Yeah, that's good. And skirt's fine. Let's go ahead and slice this and see what it looks like. Preview it. Okay, so here's what we end up with. We have support here, and that's it. And I think that'll work good. And looks like everything else is fine. Let me see what the infill actually looks like. Okay, yeah, that's pretty sparse. I think I like that. Yeah. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. I think that's what I will print. So let's print this and see how it comes out.